Yo, Shortbox Nation, this is Botter, and I'm here to tell you right now that con season starts early this year with the return of Northeast Florida's premier anime, comic book, and sci-fi event, Collective Con. That's right, Northeast Florida's largest pop culture convention returns for its 10th year on March 8th through the 10th at the Prime Osborne Center in Jacksonville, Florida. 10 years of Collective Con, they're pulling all the stops out to make sure this is a can't-miss event. And the guest list they got going, don't even get me started on the guest list. I mean, they've got A-list celebrity guests and voice actors from some of your favorite movies, anime, and video games like Elijah Wood and Sean Ashton, Ray Park, Trisha Helfer, Ross Marquand, Max Middleman, and Bo-Katan herself will be there, Katie Sackhoff. Tell me what other convention is giving you the opportunity to meet Frodo and Sam from Lord of the Rings, Darth Maul, and One Punch Man all under the same roof. Only at Collective Con. And if you're looking to get some of your favorite comics signed, or if you want to get an original sketch from some of the best comic artists in the world, well, you're in luck, because there'll be plenty of comic and creator guests there, like DC comic artist extraordinaire Clay Mann, Harvey Award-nominated illustrator John Taylor Christopher, Marvel and DC cover artist Chris Stevens, and acclaimed Star Wars author Timothy Zahn. They'll all be at Collective Con this year. And if you're looking to bring the family, or if you want to make a weekend out of it, you're in luck, because there'll be so much going on at Collective Con that weekend in the form of vendors, fan panels, video game tournaments, cosplay contests, after parties, and a bunch of fan events. You can purchase single and 3-day weekend passes now using the link in this episode's show notes, or by going to collectivecon.com to book your tickets and hotel. Buy your tickets now, and I'll see you at Collective Con, March 8th through the 10th. Now let's start the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Shortbox Podcast, Season 7.
The Shortbox Podcast was recorded before a live internet audience.
Can we also discuss how Corey is a poor substitute for anyone on this show?
Wow,
just say that.
What's wrong with Corey?
Nothing's wrong with Corey. I didn't say he was. There's nothing wrong with Corey. I'm just saying he is a poor substitute for anybody on this show. Just a poor substitute.
With all due respect.
With all due respect.
What's he missing?
I'm only saying this also because I know he's listening.
Yeah, tentatively. And he's probably texting me right now.
He's probably like, mm-hmm.
The Hellraiser pull was funny. I thought that was really good.
Oh, Hellraiser pull, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a blast. I mean,
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, we.
Oh, you didn't even
here.
listen. That's right.
No, I don't listen.
Yeah.
Yo, see, lives this.
I fucking live it. I don't listen.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the gonna be the motto that's on the new merch.
Live it. I lived through it once.
Live it. Don't listen. All right. Let me reintroduce ourselves.
Oh.
Yo,
My name is Hove. Hove.
I'm A-okay making this a Jay-Z podcast today. Come on.
Oh, boy.
Yo, Shortbox Nation, welcome back. And for our listeners, for our first-time listeners tuning in for the first time, sorry, that was terrible. Ugh.
I loved it.
And you're... what if I was like that?
It's creeped out.
The more you fuck up, the more I get excited. All right. Yo, Shortbox Nation, welcome back. And for our listeners tuning in for the first time, welcome. You're listening to episode 306 of the Shortbox Podcast. I'm your host, Botter Milligan. And if this isn't your favorite pop culture and comic book podcast by the end, I will give you the Christmas gifts I originally bought for Cesar. That's right.
Whoa.
If you don't enjoy this episode,
Big box of
I'm
nothing.
going to go ahead and re-gift some awesome things.
A lot of
originally had for Cesar.
lingerie. A lot of scratch offs.
Some Swisher Sweets.
Yeah, Swisher Sweets, some lingerie.
Dude, this sounds like a really good little gift basket for you. Yo, see, he doesn't have anything.
I
He's
got
like, yeah,
nothing.
I'll take it. You guys are giving away all of Cesar's gift. Like, for the love of God, Christmas is right around the corner.
Thanks for
God.
listening.
But anyways, today's episode is a break from our usual comic or artist spotlight focus. Instead, we're going to be sharing our reactions and responses to the bevy of new Disney Plus shows and series that were announced from this past Thursday's All Disney Investor Meeting. But first, allow me to introduce my panel. I won't be doing this episode solo. I'm joined by a panel of two others, including my right-hand man, Cesar Cordero.
It ain't easy being greasy.
And the artist, known as Edbot5000 by his online admirers, is here with us.
AKA
Edmund Danzar is in the building.
Shanghai Buns, AKA.
What?
Oh,
Keep going.
Wait, are we
Keep
bringing
going.
these back?
That's
Are we
all I
bringing
got.
these
Yo,
back?
keep
All
going.
right, Shanghai Buns.
Damn.
I'll bring a list.
Do you got more? That was awesome.
Yo, do one for me. What about me? And I'm Botter.
Butter Milligan, a.k.a. Hot Dog Water, a.k.a.
Not my favorite.
Fingers, a.k.a.
The Morocco Kid.
the Morocco
Yo, the
Kid,
Morocco Kid. I like that. I like
a.k.a.
that.
Morocco Mole,
Let's leave it at Kid.
a.k.a. we just started insulting you. We just keep saying a.k.a.
AKA
like,
piece
yo,
of shit.
a.k.a. Yo, get a job,
Yo.
a.k.a.
An hour later, I'm like, I'm really impressed
You're like-
by the amount of AKAs.
You're like, guys, I don't think these are nicknames. Yo, a.k.a. shut up.
All right. By now, most of you know we like to get our shit talking out in the beginning, as well as our house
the
cleaning
middle and
items.
the end.
Yeah, usually, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But we also like to get our house cleaning items out the way in the beginning. I have some people to thank that not only empower us to make this show possible, but also help us pay the bills to keep the lights on. We'd like to thank Gotham City Limit for being a proud sponsor of the show. Gotham City Limit is Jacksonville's premier place for comics, toys, collectibles, and more. If you're local, stop by the shop on Southside Boulevard and tell Ben the Short Box sent you. Lastly, the show is made possible by our Patreon subscribers. Their contributions go a long way in ensuring the show's longevity and the continued production of episodes like the one you're enjoying now. So if you're interested in supporting the show and earning our eternal gratitude and some awesome perks, visit patreon.com/theshortbox to become a patron, or just click the link in the episode description. Speaking of patrons, gentlemen, let's put our hands together for our newest patron, Jordan from Gen Jag.
From the New Kids on the Block?
Jordan.
Yeah. Jordan, welcome to the Short Box Elite.
Welcome.
So, when he signed up, it just said, Gen Jag is now a patron of the show, and I had to kind of, look it up. It turns out Generation Jaguar is the #1 local Jaguars blog and home of the Jacksonville Jaguars fan group.
The Jaguars are the underdogs, and we are the underdogs as well. So
That is well said, see. Meanwhile, in the back, life is cursing them out. Like,
you fucking bums! Yeah. Where'd you learn to throw? Who's that? Oh, that's my girlfriend.
So, Jordan, welcome to the Short Box Elite. Thank you for becoming a patron. Let's give it up one more time for our sponsor and patrons and get started on highlighting our top picks from the copious amount of Disney Plus series
Shit.
and shows that were announced this past Friday from the Disney.
Open your mouths, kid,
investor
and wait for that fire hose to
meeting.
shoot all that Disney gooch all in your mouth.
That's part of your Christmas basket, too.
Oh, you knew.
Disney gooch.
man.
You knew.
All right, so some background real quick. Let's give some context. For the people who are actually spending time with their loved ones or outside living their lives, like our co-host Ashley is doing this week. She did send me a message that she wouldn't be able to join today. She sends her regards. She says, have fun, nerds. I'm going to Colorado to go skiing with Pedro Pascal and Grogu.
I knew it. I
yeah.
knew it.
She gets all the best stuff.
I knew it.
But anyways, for those of you who have no idea what we're talking about in regards to this Disney Investor Day meeting or any of the various series that were announced these past couple days, allow me to share some context. Disney Investor Day, it's a 4-hour event. It was really a presentation for their investors of the Walt Disney Company. The event was webcasted on Thursday, December 10th, and it focused on the company's direct-to-consumer streaming services, a.k.a. Disney+, Hulu, and ESPN. What resulted from this 4-hour event was an array of announcements that would put Oprah's holiday special episodes to shame. Disney is planning to deliver over 100 projects varying from live-action shows, brand new animated series, and plenty of Star Wars and Marvel content to keep even the thirstiest fanboy or girl satisfied for years to come. Disney Plus alone is planning to release approximately 10 Star Wars series, 10 Marvel series, as well as 15 Disney live-action shows, some stuff for Disney Animation, a bunch of Pixar series. The 10 new Marvel shows would be coming to Disney Plus in the next few years, along with previously announced shows like WandaVision, The Falcon, and The Winter Soldier. And it wasn't just all new Disney Plus shows. There was also announcements and trailers and casting news for regarding some of the MCU theatrical releases slated for the near future. And I want to go and say, for the sake of time, we're going to keep our conversation focused on the releases that piqued our interest and apply to our comic book and related fandoms. So if you want an in-depth list of the announcements and projects that were shared from Investor Day, Might I recommend just a quick Google search for news sites? I think Vulture and D23.com, they both had a really good all-encompassing list of all the projects and announcements. And to hear us get more in depth about the Star Wars announcements, make sure to give our Mandalorian episode from this week a listen. It should be available on most podcast apps now. C, will you do us the honor of giving us a quick recap of the bigger comic book announcements and different news that were shared?
All right. So we have 4 trailers announced. All right. These Marvel shows are coming to Disney Plus, and it's going to be Loki, What If, WandaVision, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Okay. So, and we got a little bit of a sizzle reel for the upcoming Miss Marvel joint coming out. Now, Disney shared some casting news regarding Christian Bale to star as Gore, the God Butcher. What did you guys think of that series? Did you guys read that series?
Hell yeah.
Jason Aaron's.
That made me a really big Thor fan. Up until then, Thor was always like, whatever.
Ed?
Yeah, that's good. Jason Aaron's awesome.
Yeah. So, also we got, see if I can not butcher this name. Yep. Simu Liu cast as Shang-Chi. So that's kind of neat. And I guess Thor, Blood and Thunder is where we're going to see Gore, which will be interesting because Thor's kind of changed, right? Like it started out kind of serious when they wanted to rock this whole Shakespearean thing. Yeah. And then, like, they're like, nobody fucking cares about this movie. We need to figure this.
The Dark Elves,
right? We need to figure this out. And they immediately went for a more lighthearted comedic tone. The Asgardians of the Galaxy was a joke that kind of came to actual literal light now. So I'm wondering how they're going to tackle Gore, like as a character in this sort of like silly world, right? Like everything's kind of like not low stakes, but there's going to be all kinds of weird things happening. Thor has went from being highbrow, very serious, to now we're weird, like we're weird. We're the weirdos, we're the defenders, essentially. Did you guys make that connection where you had Hulk, you had Thor, you had Doctor Strange all in the same sort of like...
Valkyrie too.
Valkyrie was there. Like,
Just went Nighthawk to come in.
Right, exactly. It's like they were one defender away.
Ooh, what a way to bring in Namor.
He might. Who knows? Yeah. That's something to look for. Anyway, there were a lot of Marvel theatrical updates for the Ant-Man sequel. So Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania is being directed by Peyton Reed. We're going to see Cassie Lang and Kang the Conqueror, which is going to be interesting.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Like, Kang is one of my favorite villains.
He's a cool looking character too. Yeah.
He's
like
going to be the next big bad, you think?
I don't know. That was my question. Like, it would be awesome. But then, time travel is going to be tricky because they kind of already tackled that with the last sort of story arc, and that was his big thing. Who knows? So the release date for the Captain Marvel 2 movie is in November 2022. And that John Watts of Spider-Man fame will also be directing. So he's directing the new Captain Marvel movie? Wow. Okay. Interesting. So last but not least, we got news that several Marvel-themed shows would be making their way to Disney Plus that haven't been announced or previously teased, which were Armor Wars starring Don Cheadle, the Beetle, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, directed by James Gunn, which should be interesting.
Oh, that'd be awesome. They make it low budget, like the Star Wars,
right? And it's like kind of like shitty on purpose.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
They can nail that easy.
Moon Knight, which I'm very, very much looking forward to.
Is it Oscar Isaac still, or is it official? Or
well, I don't know about official. This was the one that they didn't provide more. It was like
they just
the existing
the
stuff.
Card.
Yeah.
I Am Groot, the animated series. Interesting. Okay. Ironheart and Secret Invasion starring Ben Mendelsohn and Sam Jackson.
Yo, this is Botter. Sorry for interrupting this episode, but I'll keep it brief. I wanted to let you know about a massive sale we have going on over at the Shortbox store on all of our merchandise and apparel. That's theshortboxstore.bigcartel.com. You can now save 20% off your entire order using the discount code YOO, Y-O-O. So if you've been waiting for the right time to finally buy that gauntlet snapback, or if you ever wanted to buy any of the shirts you see me wear on the podcast, well, now's your chance to get them for a steal. We still have a few sizes left of everything, but they won't last long, and once they're gone, they are gone. And then I mentioned that all of our apparel is screen printed on high quality material. None of that heat transfer or direct to garment stuff. Our shirts are some of the most comfortable ones you'll ever wear, and the hats look even better in person. So wear your support for the Shortbox Nation proudly, knowing that you're going to look damn good doing it. Get to theshortboxstore.bigcartel.com as soon as you can, and don't forget to use that discount code YOO, Y-O-O, to save 20% off your entire order. All of this information can be found in this episode's show notes if you want to get there faster. Thanks for not pressing fast forward. Now back to the show.
I'll be honest, that one piques my interest only because it's like, I'm going to get Sam Jackson full time, like not just the cameo or you
not
know,
the fucking Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Yeah. So thank you, C. That was good. Thank you for the quick recap. Before we go any further, we got a quick word from our sponsor. So let's go and play this commercial, and we'll be right back to continue the conversation. Hey, Shortbox Nation. Sorry for the interruption, but we want to talk about one of our favorite comic shops that happens to be a proud sponsor of this here podcast.
You talking about Gotham City Limits?
Whoa, Batman, what are you doing here?
It's just me, Potter at sea. I've got laryngitis. But you know what doesn't have laryngitis? Jacksonville's premier location for comic books, collectibles, toys, and more.
Oh, and don't forget, pool customers get 10% off their comics.
Shut up, I'm talking now, punk. Gotham City Limits offers free bags and boards.
And 20% off trades and hardcovers.
I don't need a Robin for this ad spot.
But Batman, you're forgetting about the most important part about Gotham City Limit. It's a comic shop welcome to everyone, for the diehard collectors and the new fans.
I told you I'm not Batman, but have Alfred get the car ready. I'm rich, so it's on me. We're going to Gotham City Limits to spend some money on comics.
Ed, I'll start off with you, man. How are you receiving or keeping up with the news when all of this was coming out on Thursday?
Like, when it happened, it was just timeline, like Instagram stories and Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know, is this real? It's like, because you know how there's so many fan like title cards because they're pretty easy to reproduce. It's like, is this real? And there's like so much of it, like nonstop. Like
Spread them cheeks,
minutes.
boy.
Oh my God. It was...
This is a family show, Potter.
A great man once said, buckle the fuck up.
That's right. That's right. It was coming in hot.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, C, it was like a poor schoolgirl in a hentai just getting violated.
This is getting uncomfortable.
Disney was just rocking us with them octopus tentacles.
Yeah,
it was
so much
and
stuff.
I think to your point,
it's not even including like the Pixar, Disney. And a lot of those are like remakes and prequels, but even all that stuff, it was so much material coming out.
Yeah, I think to your point, Ed, it's been really prior to like big events like this, you see those like those fan edits and those images always kind of pop up on the internet, and so you're always kind of on your toes, like this don't look real, or let me go check like a source. But I was in the same boat where I was like, yo, what is real and what isn't right now? Because anyone could have easily made a fucking title card for ROM or some shit like that, and I would have believed it because the timing would have been crazy. It's like, goddamn,
there's like digging deep.
Yeah, and not only that, but like the lineup of news that we got, some of these like Armor Wars or Ironheart was like, what?
NFL Pro is going to be making his own appearance.
Yes.
Do you remember that guy?
Yo, Combo Man.
We do a Hostess Pie variety.
Right. So here's the thing I wanted to bring up to you guys specifically. We're not fucking new to this rodeo, okay? Like we're old. We've been reading comics for a long time, and we've been reading mainstream comics for a long time, right? Out of all those shows, which of them, knowing what you know about comics and basically your taste and what you think might bring something interesting to the table, which of those shows would you be like, all right, freaking get rid of all that other nonsense, and this is what I'm fucking into?
As far as like outside of Shang-Chi, I would say,
yeah, okay,
because that's already wrapped and they were kind of focused,
right? So that's an example of what I'm talking about. When you hear certain things, your ears perk up, like, oh,
yeah, Shang-Chi. And then for me, like growing up reading like the Bob Layton Iron Man's, the Armor Wars is very interesting to kind of see. Are we going to see like Ironmonger again? Are we going to see like the Crimson Dynamo? We're going to see all these crazy things, and you can even like, I don't know, because there was like a crossover with Doom and Iron Man. You can even slip in hints of that because he's like a technology wizard guy,
Right.
So, the Armor Wars and What If I think would probably be the easiest to watch because it's going to be like episodic, and those are always fun. I'm a big multiverse fan, so that kind of stuff is, and I love the comics too. So I guess those are the ones that really popped out as far as the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
One, as a longtime reader of that series and fan of that series, I'm definitely interested in that the most. It's not going to be live action. It looks like it's just going to be a lot of fun for an animated series. And that probably a series I recommend for casual fans to jump into, because I think with a lot of these shows, if I was a casual fan, I'm trying to place myself in the shoes of someone that's just getting into comic books because of MCU and all of that. I think What If would be the one where you can kind of put your guard down. It's like, I don't need to watch all of these other series or try to look for Easter eggs or how it's going to tie into a larger plot. What If appears to be, it looks like it's going to be like quick, fun 10, 15, 20-minute episodes, and you get to play around with like a lot of your favorite characters. I think some of the what I could kind of get out of that trailer they dropped, which was cool to see the trailer too. I'm a fan of the animation so far, but it looks like we're getting a What If Black Panther and Star-Lord change places. It looks like kind of a story. It looks like we're doing something like Marvel Zombies, and then of course, what if Peggy Carter became Captain America? So for me, it's like it's kind of like watching, like when you would play with like action figures and make up like the most random stories, because that's all you had,
Like if Britain had the super soldier serum, because she has like the British flag on the shield, so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
or Captain Britain.
Yeah.
So I think What If piqued my my interest. Another one that kind of cut through all the noise is WandaVision continues. At first, I was not impressed with that trailer we got, the first one, I think last year or a few months ago. But the more I'm watching these trailers and the more I can't really pinpoint where they're going, it looks like it's going to be like a parody of like TV in general, like the different decades of TV. But also the fact that we're getting a show that's where a character like Wanda, who, if you're a comic fan, it was always like a character you could never really pinpoint like what the fuck she does,
what's her powers,
so the fact that she is carrying this show, and it just looks really interesting. Like because I don't really know much about the character, I have no expectations. I think
and
that
it leads into the Doctor Strange.
Yeah, like so that'll have impacts into this Doctor Strange multiverse or multiverse of madness, and then that'll have impacts into the new Spider-Man movie, from what I'm understanding. So if I had to pick one to kind of tie into the bigger pie,
Spider-Man,
I think WandaVision.
Everybody's back.
Right.
What about you, C? What are some that maybe like piqued your interest the most?
So so this is something that you and I were kind of discussing before we started recording, where it's like, damn, man, I feel sorry for people who don't know anything about like what to look for, because they're just going to look and just be like, this is so overwhelming. Like,
it's like new people that walk into a comic shop.
Right.
Like
what do you do?
Where do I start?
Right.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's our responsibility to provide our fucking opinionated suggestions. I think Moon Knight will be interesting because the context of the character is something that could never have been seen on a show before. And it looks like the is it Winter Soldier and Falcon show? Looks like it's going to be interesting as well, mainly because of the actors involved, right? Like, that show doesn't work if Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan can't pull off basically chemistry. If they have it, it'll work. If they don't, it's going to fall right on its fucking face, regardless of what the story arc is.
And the cool thing with that is like, and then this is just speculation, but it looks like they're introducing like Madripoor into the MCU,
right?
Which is that's
okay.
Cool.
That's another something to kind of like look out for. We might see Wolverine. Who knows? Right.
Just go all in.
Right. Yeah.
Let's go all in. Catch up, motherfuckers. Catch up.
Yeah. That and Loki looks interesting as well. It's overwhelming, and this is sort of like, it's weird, and it's kind of hard to deal with Disney being in charge of things that you are emotionally invested in, because it's sort of a fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me situation. We're like, okay, it's kind of happening with Star Wars, where like every one of these shows that's coming out is just another springboard for something else. Am I going to get into a cool show and just be like, yeah, oh, this was great, and then it just ends up being a springboard for something else and something else and something else?
It's like those crossover comics back in the 90s.
Right. It's like, as a comic fan, we've been taken before, and now we're seeing it happen, and like, damn it, is it going to happen again? So knowing all of that, I would say the things you should maybe look out for, maybe Moon Knight, maybe Loki, WandaVision, and the What If sounds like pretty low stakes. You could just watch an episode and get out and no problem.
Yeah, if they can do the thing where it's accessible, but still kind of part of the big picture, but still make it accessible for like casual fans, that's a tough.
Yeah, we'll see.
A tough juggling.
We'll see.
I think another aspect that I've noted here positively is that maybe to see what C just brought up in regards to Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Shaw playing.
Is it Shaw or Stan?
I'm actually not sure.
Sebastian Shaw's in the Hellfire Club.
No, you're right. Sebastian Stan.
That is the fucking show I want to see. That's the show I want to see. Freaking Anthony
Sebastian
Mackie's
Stan.
on the show, and he looks and there's this fucking shirtless dude sitting there next
He's
to
got
him.
the pirate shirt on.
I can
with a powdered wig.
Energy. Yeah,
And black queen and white queen. And just
a lot of lingerie.
a lot of lingerie. And
I think it's cool that we are getting the big name actors that were associated with the MCU in on the small screen. Like all the characters from in WandaVision. We got Loki. And hell, I mean, even some of these other ones that kind of caught me off guard, like Armor Wars. Like, oh, Don Cheadle's getting his own like show.
this dude won an Oscar and he's doing this. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like Jeremy Renner is going to be playing a Hawkeye, and then also like the announcement of some of these like new characters, like Kate Bishop as playing in the Hawkeye series. Which I will say, the more and more pictures I keep seeing
Looks
from
good.
that, I'm like, that looks like it's going to be like kind of cool slice of life.
And did you see
slash,
the bro?
like,
They had
agent.
like a picture of, I think, one of the tracksuit mafia
Oh, come on,
guys.
man.
They had like
I did not see that.
had like a moving truck, like said "bro moving" or something. And had like this Eastern European guy in a tracksuit smiling.
Oh, great.
Just like yeah.
But some of these like characters that they're digging to debut, I'm like I will admit, as a hardcore Marvel fan, I'm like, oh wow, we're getting Gore the God Butcher, we're getting fucking America Chavez, like a relatively really new character, we're getting Kang the Conqueror, like a classic, like a
The
good mix of.
We're going to Quantum Realm. Possibly with Kang and
Yeah.
Chronopolis.
Did you guys see the headline? This isn't more so, and I feel like it was such to what you guys are saying, like it was such a fire hose moment, like so much coming at you. Some of the finer nuances or the smaller details, I think, kind of got lost. For example, like the headline that Black Panther, they're not recasting Black Panther, which I'm kind of for. I'm like, that doesn't need to be that role doesn't need to be recast after everything.
My only concern is if his if his family's getting compensated for this, because who else are they going to resurrect? They've already kind of doing that with like some of the Star Wars,
Right, and just because they're not recasting Black Panther does not mean that they don't have the rights to. And this is, we might see the more evil side of Disney, that they don't have the likeness rights to Chadwick Boseman, which they probably do. So they could say, "Oh, we won't recast," but it definitely fucking won't stop them from hiring another actor that they can just deep fake his face on and then just have him do whatever. I 100% see that happening because Disney's fucking evil.
What was the most surprising announcement or series, like the one that caught you off guard or surprised you the most?
The thing that really like threw me off that's non-Marvel is the Willow, which you don't even know about.
Yeah, I
So
was
that
like,
kind of
Willow
really
what?
ages myself.
Dude, I saw that and I was like, it's not Willow.
It's the
Willow,
same
is
logo.
it?
It's like, what did they just steal this? They just stole the logo from that movie. Old
Oh
movie?
man,
So it's like, what story are they going to tell with Willow now? And it's
the one where Ron Howard has to redeem himself from that shit directing job he did on Solo. Guys, I did the original Willow.
It's,
Call me back.
it's like, oh, you shit the bed, Howard, but you better come back and do Willow.
You better do fucking Willow.
Okay, you got me. So and
Willow's
it's
a good
Warwick-
fantasy movie,
Yeah,
by
it's
the
a good
way.
fantasy movie, and it's Warwick Davis, so he's recast.
No stranger
Yeah.
to any of those
It's
properties.
just Star Wars, and he's in that
Star Wars, Harry Potter. I mean, he's making the money. I know. I mean, we talked about this ahead of time too, where it was like, I'm not excited for any of them because I'm looking at this as a sort of, not trying to be like the guy with the sandwich board saying the end is nigh, right? I like fun things, guys. Contrary to what anybody believes,
Easy, Rorschach.
I'm just saying, I do like fun things. I just don't like being taken advantage of, especially when I look at something that I grew up enjoying. And just the fact that it's on the screen is cool enough for me, right? Like, I'm like, dang, They did the costume right. They got a good actor. That's great, man. Even if I don't watch every episode, I'll be like, man, that's fucking great. And that guy's getting work. I like his work. I like him as an actor. As an artist, he's amazing. But then it's just like, they take that and then they trick me, right? Like I'm a little fish swimming in the ocean and I'm like, oh, I eat it. And then they're like, by the way, second season comes around. Hey, smash that like button, subscribe. And you're like, oh, I thought this was... No, this is why.
You just swallowed some poison, but we have the antidote, right?
Right, exactly. right. So I'm not excited about anything. Nothing. I'm approaching this very, very, very warily.
It's like all most of the Pixar and Disney stuff. It's all either live action remakes or prequels that no one wanted,
right?
Or like they're just taking existing IP.
Not trying to be negative. I'm just saying I'm apprehensive.
Yeah.
You asked me if I'm looking forward to anything. I'm not, but I'm not like necessarily trying to be like, yo, don't fucking watch any of these shows, god damn it.
I do feel what Cesar's saying, that this is like a bit overwhelming and draining. Just because they have the ability to do it, they're doing it. And some of these I'm questioning, are they going to be worth the time or investment? Now, granted, that's maybe more so on the consumer to ask and whatnot, but
sure.
I just know as a casual fan, that's kind of the allure of like the MCU, is that everything connects. And when you look at comic book fans, a lot of them are completionists. So they're not going to sway away from, watching all of this. And for me, I think I have enough awareness to think, I don't need to partake in all of this. But it'll be hard to not want to at least check out what's going on or see what I'm missing, So it feels like a much larger buffet than we really need.
We don't know how long the series are, so if they're short and to the point, rather than, okay, here's 10 episodes of this, 10 episodes of this.
Sure.
Like I could see like
that would do something for me.
Yeah,
I think that would calm my
why couldn't Armor Wars be like a 2-hour special and just
sure,
have it,
make it a little
but
movie.
We don't need 10. I don't need to see Stiltman that bad.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I should have probably prefaced it with based on what we know so far. This is us running the assumption that all of these series
are going to
will
be like 24 episodes.
Yeah, hopefully not.
But
like
Mandalorian's what, like 10
episodes?
Eight episodes.
Yeah,
so
8
that's,
episodes.
I think
that's
good.
doable. That's manageable.
Netflix things were getting like 13, 14. And it's like, oh God, this is too much.
I think in the end, I'm not any more excited for some of these newer ones that were announced. If anything, what this Investor Day announcement kind of explosion did for me was just re-solidify that the existing 4 that we knew about, WandaVision, Loki, Falcon, Winter Soldier, and What If, are going to those. I'm more interested in those than I originally were. All of these, like Miss Marvel, I'm sure that'll be cool. The Sizzle Reel looked really fun. I was like really excited for this newcomer to get like such a big role.
Great.
So part of the announcement that I think once again kind of got brushed under everything because of how big some of the names were. It was kind of like it threw you off. But Disney Plus is planning to raise their price by $1, so from $7.99 to $8.99. For reference sake, Netflix right now is about $13.99 a month. HBO Max is about $14.99 a month. I was curious to hear from you guys. What is the max you would pay for a subscription? And it doesn't just have to be Disney Plus, but just period.
I piggyback on so many people's accounts.
I guess that question's better suited for Walt and mine.
I think that's a fair price considering the
amount of content,
the library they have, and what's around the corner. But I would say, man, it's hard. Anything over, just because we started so low, it's anything over 10 is kind of like, okay, I need to figure out what I want to keep and what I want to take off. But I don't think that's a big. When I heard like there's going to be a price increase, I was like, oh, here we go, like $5 more, but it's like $1. It's like that's okay. I can see that.
Because news like this just tells me that they have found where they're going to be focusing their efforts.
And they want
as
to
a
justify
company.
It to the stockholders.
Yeah,
it's like this is all 800 things we're doing.
I don't know. 13.
13.
Yep.
Yeah, that's about. I won't lie. Every now and then, when I look at my Netflix, bills, I'm like, I need to take a look at
under $15. I think is like the threshold.
If it gets higher, then I'm gonna be like, yeah, YouTube's looking real good right now.
Yeah.
Might I add, YouTube Red is one of the better subscriptions I currently pay.
They're going to be the fucking
Definitely
sleeper.
recommend
They're
it.
just waiting. They're fucking like, yeah, you guys go ahead, because YouTube will collect everything.
Look, I'll wrap it up by saying I am curious to see if Disney or Marvel changes up the way they release comic books by leveraging digital services like we're seeing Disney do with their shows with Disney Plus. Will Marvel or any of these comic publishers leverage their existing digital service to provide their product the same day of?
How far? Because I don't do digital. How far?
Right now,
It's
right
4
now.
months?
No.
Yeah.
Prior to the pandemic, you had to wait 6 months for
6
a
months.
new
That's
comic to come to Marvel Unlimited, which is not a bad time at all.
Yeah.
Especially if you're backed up, like, you know, with a
But you
giant
get the
reading list
digital
like I do.
code still with the comics, right?
Yeah, yes, you do. But they've changed it now to where it's 3 months. So 3 months later, you get the same thing, which is a better improvement. But I'm still curious, what is holding them back from just dropping it the same day?
Yeah, like
Extra source of income, extra income from the print. Yeah. You know, that's just like another stream of money coming in. You can't totally eliminate that yet because it is still making some money for you.
Sure.
You know, once the print is completely like when you're losing money, then it's going to be all digital.
You know what
and
though?
hardcovers
That's a
and
good
special
point
editions.
because Marvel went bankrupt, and they were still. I wonder if the subscriptions had anything to do with it. You know, because this isn't the first time, right? Like, remember back in the day, you could pay $12.99, you know, a month, and you'd be like, it was always like the thing's going to personally deliver 3 titles to your mailbox, you know, and you're like, that's. Oh fuck! I don't have enough money for that. You know. You know what? This is look, guys. Look, this is the episode that you listen to on the way to work in place of your favorite political pundit. This is the one. You put it in. You're like, oh, insert your favorite political talking
Rush
head
Limbaugh?
here. I'm not. If that's your favorite, man, I'm just saying. We're asking the hard questions here on the
liberals.
Short Box.
It's been a minute. You know, we've been talking about Swamp Thing,
Look,
Electro.
we got shit where
Who
we're
do we
like,
think we are?
Yeah, we're poking each other like the fucking Pillsbury Doughboy every other episode. We got to hit you with a serious one every now and then. You know what I'm saying?
Time to get serious.
That's it. That's all I'm saying, and I'll leave it at that. I'm just curious to see if this will have a ripple effect on other services that are owned by Disney or Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I think
A bigger one.
okay.
Like the fact that we are seeing all of these shows that they probably wanted to like have a few of these on hold for a theatrical release, but they had to go ahead and shift their plans and go about it the Disney Plus way because it's like, well, right now this is probably our best chance to
and just think of it
make
like,
up for the revenue that we're losing. We're just gonna need to dedicate a whole episode to this. I'm down for that.
You know what's funny? Botter loves all this shit. Like this is the stuff that he's like. If he was like a little earthworm, he would just be like grimy as shit. Like, let's talk about these figures. Let's talk about these numbers.
I need to go ahead and invite.
Oh, got the spreadsheet going.
I tried to invite Adam for this episode, and he was like, I'm retired.
He's like, I'm retired.
All right,
Adam
well, look,
got sick of us really quick.
I think we're at a good stopping point for the segment. I'll look to our listeners, and I'll ask, what about you guys? What series are you looking forward to the most? What trailers got you hype? What's the max you'd pay for Disney Plus? Let us know. Give us something to read next week. Send us a short email to our inbox at theshortboxjacks@gmail.com, or leave a short message on our hotline at speakpipe.com/shortbox. I do want to say that next week we'll get back into more of like our comic book spotlight talk. We'll actually be doing our last installment of our artist spotlight series for this year. It'll be on the Canadian comic book artist known for her work on the books such as Thunder Agents, Archie, and Saga. I'm talking about Fiona Staples. That'll be next week. But like I said, I want to hear from you guys, your thoughts and opinions on all of these announcements from Disney Plus. Let's go and take a quick music break. I'll play another new instrumental done by Mecca the Marvelous as part of a beat pack he sent me a few weeks ago. So if you like what you hear, check out more of his music on Bandcamp and other streaming services. For now, enjoy the music. We'll be right back. What are some good clickbaity titles I can go ahead and use for this episode? We need something that'll like separate us from everyone else that's posting about the Disney Plus news.
Why Botter thinks comic book stores will fail in 2021.
Botter hates print comics.
Did you?
Botter says digital only for me, please.
Welcome to Watch Mojo's Top 10.
Watch Mojo.
Botter says, make mine digital.
And it's like a sign of you outside, like hitchhiking, but you just have a sign, digital or bust. Thumb out.
Just burning like a stack of comic books.
Potter says, digital for me, but you should check out our sponsor, Gotham City Limit.
Oh, no.
All right, I'll use one of them. Okay,
that was nice.
You guys got me. Thank you so much. Yo, listeners, we are back. Like I said, that was music by one half of our in-house production team. Mecca the Marvelous provided that beat. Check them out on Bandcamp and other streaming services like Apple Music, Spotify, and all that good stuff. In lieu of emails today, we're not going to be reading emails today. We'll probably read them next episode. We have a special segment that we are piloting today.
Is this for real?
In true Shortbox fashion, we pump out like 20 new segments every week, and only one of them usually sticks, if that. But this segment, I'm feeling kind of like. I'm feeling good about. I'm feeling proud about, This one is going to be a spotlight for our man Cesar. Zero.
Sick bastard. What
a.k.a. Hot Neck, a.k.a.
Hot Neck. Bro, you can't handle my neck.
But anyway, so let me give some context real quick before I announce this series.
Okay.
Cesar actually reads new comic books.
Whoa! Okay, yes, I know what you're doing now. All right.
Much to the disbelief of a lot of our listeners who think Cesar only reads books as late as 1991.
Circa 1989.
1989, yeah, that's a good one. Cesar actually reads a lot of current comic books.
Wow.
The issue is that we never have. Hey, you see what I did? Issue.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the thing is that we never have. It's been a long time since we've had episodes where we focus on new comics. We've done a lot of dedicated comic book spotlights, or we're doing artist spotlights, or we're doing our pilots license series. So we haven't had a lot of chance to talk about like new and updated current comic books. And C's felt a sort of way, man. He's hit me up on the side like, yo, I'm reading all these fucking current comic books.
Hey, don't break your arm patting yourself on the back here.
I've been reading all these.
Me to do this segment.
Fake news. All right, this is fake news. I went to Botter and I was like, we'll have conversations about recent comics. And then he'll look at me and he'll go, yeah, you know what the best part about this conversation is? No one will ever fucking know we had it.
Lost in the ether.
Right. So I've been self-sabotaged, but I decided this is the episode where I let my man redeem himself, and I'm proud to announce a new, hopefully ongoing, or our segment aptly titled No Comic Shop for Old Men.
Okay. All right. Look, man, thank you for this. But also I need you, man, just don't do me wrong, okay? Don't put in some stupid soundboard or any sort of weird music. I know you got a good.
Oh, dude,
I know you got a good.
You're talking to your boy, the Morocco kid.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you, AKA Fingers. That's why I'm telling you. Don't do me dirty, please.
I'm putting in only the dopest, flyest, like opening set. I might have Mecca make it. I might have Mecca make a beat for you. Go ahead and introduce your new segment, No Comic Shop for Old Men.
You're dirty. You're dirty. Look. So this came out of something that Botter and I were discussing, and I will be honest, I was more or less inspired by Botter, Drew, and Walt, because I remember when their iteration of the short box was in full swing, it would be nothing but straight, just talking about comics that came out that very week. And I hadn't really been on that comic book game for a while. Like, there was nothing really keeping my attention. And I was asking myself, like, is it because there's nothing good out there? Is it because maybe I just don't have the money for it? It's definitely I don't have the money for it.
Yeah, money, for sure.
But I got the Marvel app, and I was talking to somebody recently, and they're like, Marvel app's cool, but I mean, I don't get my money's worth because they don't have anything new there. And I just end up looking up random issues from the 60s. And I'm like, God damn it, that's exactly what I've been doing. What am I doing with my life? So I wanted to ask if either of you are reading The Immortal Hulk right now.
I am behind. The last issue I read was after the Minotaur Roxanne stuff. So that would have been like mid-20s if I had to try to pinpoint a number.
Okay. Ed?
I've probably going to get the trades, but I've heard nothing but good things. It looks amazing. But
yo, I'm better than both of you.
Oh, no.
You've just been
a contest.
You've just been this segment's title.
Oh,
wow. You've just been old man.
Okay, hold on. I got another one. Are you guys reading like Daredevil, Zdarsky's Daredevil right now?
I mean, the current run that's like...
Yeah, no, serious.
25 issues? No, I have not. No.
Seriously?
I probably read the first 3.
Guys, I'm still better than you.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm fucking better.
I'm better than all the comics you read.
I'm fucking better. I'm better than you. Done, son.
He got me
done.
beat. He got me beat.
You're done.
Of those
Reading
two,
Maestro, does that count?
no, fuck no. You're even worse than him.
Fucking better.
Oh, wrong Hulk, idiot.
I don't know.
Reading that
Old
trash.
ass man. Like, yo, we on this Immortal Hulk.
This segment brought to you by Gotham City Limits. For the best comics, always go to Gotham City Limits.
Oh man. Well, let me ask you this: of those two series, Immortal Hulk and Daredevil, which one's your favorite?
Right now, oh man. So here's the thing. I was talking again. The only reason I want to bring this up is because I can't recommend it. If this shit has got me on board, there's something there, man. Like there's something there. If you aren't reading comics right now, and that's not to say that DC isn't putting shit out that it's amazing. I'm just right now. There's a hierarchy and a priority list in my brain. Daredevil for me, story arc and rereadability is probably at the top of the list. The artwork is great. I think Chichetto is the artist, and Zdarsky is freaking killing it with the story. I would say I recommend it, but to people that have no idea where to start as far as comics are concerned, I would say Immortal Hulk is a good place because it's exactly what Alan Moore was doing with Swamp Thing in the 80s. It is that fucking good. Like Al Ewing, oh my God, what a great storyteller, man. What a great storyteller. And he basically made the Hulk scary again. We talked about it in the past, about how Immortal Hulk was good. And we just kind of basically sort of slept on it a little. Like, it's like, oh yeah, they had a revolving door of artists. And, Joe Bennett was kind of like the main guy, and then he kind of stepped back, and now he's kind of back more. I gotta say, this is something that you cannot sleep on. Immortal Hulk. Look, hard recommend. Hard recommend.
I think last year that was, I think that might have been like a shared
Wasn't
best
it?
of comic book, in the best comic of 2019 that
Yeah.
we've talked about. But this Daredevil Zdarsky run, I've heard stupendous things about. And this latest issue, number 25, where I guess I should do a spoiler warning if you haven't read Daredevil 25, and if you're interested, stop listening now.
We
Spoilers.
spoiled it in the last episode.
Yeah, that's right. Where Elektra dons the Daredevil costume. Like, yo, that shit had the internet aflame. So I will probably be giving that a
Miller
run.
shaking his fist.
Right.
All right, those are good. Okay, for your pilot episode, old comic shop for
Keep
old
it
man.
short and sweet.
That was
Keep
good.
it short and sweet.
We should do something like that more weekly.
Or we do, I don't know, comic book reviews.
Nah, too much. Yo,
You don't think
Disney's
it'll-
around. No, Disney, baby.
it
We got
won't
that Disney
It's too
payroll.
obvious.
It won't take off? It won't take off?
Next week, you should do it when Ashley's here and definitely dunk on her.
Dude, we'll talk about the Black Lightning.
All right.
Shit.
Oh, dude, that was good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll make this a more recurring segment. See, you did good for your first
Thank you.
one.
Thank
You're
you.
better than us.
Thank
You
you.
got it. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yay.
Thank you.
For our listeners, I will ask.
I'm fucking better than you too.
Except for the ones that paid. The patrons, not so much. Okay, we got it.
Guys, of course I'm not better than the fucking listeners that
Same,
pay.
we're the
Everyone
same
knows this. Everyone knows this.
I will open it up to our listeners and ask, what are you reading? What's the current title that you're reading that you'd recommend that maybe you'd recommend to see as he's,
If I'm not already reading it.
Ooh, yo, try to stump
Also,
him.
I'm probably not already reading it. So please recommend something new. 'Cause
Two
I'm-
whole titles.
I'm
Yeah.
a babe in the woods.
Yeah, I like that.
I
Recommend.
thought you said that you were liking the X-Men, the swords of something or other.
That's a whole
okay.
episode
Next
in
episode.
itself.
Next episode.
Yeah, I've been reading the Marvel anthology books where they have a revolving door of amazing artists and writers that do little short stories.
Swords? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you read Marvel?
No. He's saying Marvel, like literally
Oh,
Marvel.
Marvel. Marvel's
Yeah,
called
the
Marvel.
name of the the name of the
Like
comic
just
is
the
called
whole,
Marvel.
I thought Bonner was talking to me.
Yeah.
You read Marvel, bro?
Marvel.
I know that was a lot of
No.
Marvels.
You know,
Okay.
you don't know what it is?
I've seen but I haven't read it.
It's fucking awesome. The idea behind it is it's Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross doing what they originally wanted for that book, where they're like, we want to tell different stories within the universe. They got Eric Powell to do a fucking comedy story with The Thing. Man, it's you get Eric Powell drawing The Thing, Doctor Doom, Spider-Man, and it's great. It's freaking great. And on top of that, Alex Ross is doing the bridging story. where it's Doctor Strange and he's stuck in Nightmare's realm.
He's doing
Interiors, dude.
Alex Ross,
Interiors.
hold on, you get Alex Ross drawing fucking
They are backing
Nightmare.
a money truck up to that dude.
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Fucking Alex Ross drawing Nightmare.
Oh wow.
It's good.
One of the weirdest Doctor Strange characters ever, and he's basically like the Crypt Keeper. Like he's got fucking Stephen Strange tied up, and he's like,
I remember him. Yeah.
let me fucking tell you ass about all these universes and how I'm gonna fuck them up. And then story starts. Then they go back, and it was like, that was kind of cool. Well, you're powerless against it. You're stuck here. I'm gonna tell you another one. Boom, there it goes right there. Like that's another good one, man. But again, we don't got time for all that shit.
No,
I'm still
you know-
better than you.
I like this segment. So listeners, try to recommend a new series to this old man.
Yeah, I'm welcome. Welcome.
You like that? Eh?
welcome
I
it.
like it. All right. With that being said, let's go to our last segment of this episode, our champion season segment. Champion season, for those of you tuning in for the first time, is the last segment of our show. It is our opportunity to go around the table and allow everyone to highlight a few things within pop culture and comic books that has really resonated with us. It could be a comic book, like I said, a TV series, a movie, a video game, an album, an event, something we feel, hey, this is really dope and more people should be checking that out. Ed, how about you do us the honors and go first? What are you going to champion today?
Okay, I got a couple. The first one I'll champion, it is a previous champion, but the Wonder Woman Dead Earth hardcover collection.
Oh, hell yeah.
I haven't even seen the hardcover yet.
It just came
but I
out
bet
maybe
it's
2 weeks
fucking
ago.
hot.
Yeah,
It's nice.
I got that shit.
Is it oversized?
It's the same size.
Yeah,
Same price.
yeah. It's good.
But it's not that much. It's only like $30, $20-$30, something like that.
If that.
Reasonable.
And this is a good time if you are interested. I mean, a lot of shops now, this is the discount season, so definitely pick it up.
Gotham City Limit, our sponsor,
yeah.
happens to have a great...
Tell us more about her.
No, for real, they actually have had some killer sales, but
Yeah.
I digress.
And those are the things that usually go on sale, too, once they have these. So, yeah, I don't need to talk much more about it. But the other champion, I'm just going to champion Richard Corbin passed away.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, that's
beginning
right.
of the month. So, like I said, 80 years old, full life, like 20 lifetimes as an artist,
Sure.
it seems like. But just if you can find anything he's done, I mean, he's a guy that's worked, I think, up to maybe a couple years ago. I mean, he worked into his 70s at least,
Yeah.
60s, 70s. So he's, like I said, one of my favorites, very influential. Heavy metal, from horror, from the creepy stuff to the heavy metal stuff to even his mainstream stuff with Marvel, with like his Luke Cage mini-series with Brian Azzarello, which is pretty crazy.
Right. He did some Ghost Rider shit, too.
Ghost Rider, he did a Hellboy, Eisner Award-winning miniseries. So it's just, if you're not familiar with him, definitely one of my favorites.
Was it Hellboy in Mexico?
I think so. I
think
don't
so.
remember. Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
Right?
Yeah.
Camazotz.
If you want to hear some interesting Richard Corbin conversation, when we interviewed Jim Rugg for episode 299, when we talked about his Octobrion in 1976, we did have a chance to talk about Richard Corbin, his impact, his influence, and whatnot.
He's done everything. He's done from like album covers, commercial
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
to
Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's incredible career. His stuff is so bizarre and it's distinctively his. It's almost like, I always describe it's almost like he's kind of like molded these figures out of clay and they're like really exaggerated but like super photorealistic. So
Right.
it's a weird, unnerving combination. It's perfect for like science fiction and horror.
Pour one out for Richard.
See, I'll go to you, man. What do you want to champion today?
So I would like to champion the book Krampus by Brahm. I have been reading it, and if you want to get into the holiday season with a weird tale about magic and Christmas and crime, and weird monsters and creatures and Norse mythology and great, awesome looking imagery, I recommend Krampus, man. That fucking shit is lit up. It's fucking good. It's so good. And it gets the cosign by Mike Mignola. Like, if you look on the back, like, he's like, this is fucking amazing. Like, of course, Mike Mignola, who's like a fan of all of like Teutonic folk culture, yeah, duh, he's on board. And so am I. It's one of the best books I've read in a long time. Like, actually reading it, it's good. Like turn a page, like, it's good. And listening to it is good as well. I'm doing both. That's how good it is. Like,
At the same time?
yeah, like, I kid you not. Like, it's that good. Like, I feel like I'm a little kid. When you hear the chimes, turn the page. You know, like,
That's
it's
cool.
fucking amazing. And the voice actor is phenomenal. It's an interesting take on Santa Claus and Krampus. And if you are a comic book fan, if you're a Jack Kirby fan specifically, read it. It's fucking good.
Damn, good stuff. My two champions are going to be X-Men related. The first one is a top of the line X-Men fanfic done by none other than one of the most premier artists to ever touch the franchise. A John Byrne X-Men fanfic called X-Men Elsewhen.
I remember when you told me about this.
Ed, are you up on this?
Yeah, I saw the Leafield tweet.
Oh yeah, Leafield co-signed it.
Friend of the show, Rob Liefeld. Come on,
Hey,
man.
yo.
Friend of the show.
Come on now.
Big fan.
Yeah, for sure. So for those of you unaware, John Byrne is the artist that did a large run of X-Men in the late 70s alongside Chris Claremont as
Reinvented Man of Steel.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, just from the X-Men side, it's some of the most iconic X-Men comic books of all time. A lot of the more popular characters, story arcs that a lot of the movies and cartoons reference come from his run. And to C's point, John Byrne's overall legacy and body of work for comic books is hella impressive. But I'm here to champion X-Men Elsewhen. Some backstory for this one, because I do find that the backstory is almost as impressive as the actual product. Like I said, it's a fanfic that he started writing in 2018. So he's not only writing it, but of course he's doing the artwork as well. He was just doing it for himself and his fans. There was talks of him approaching Marvel to get this published, but it just led to nowhere. And he didn't really give much information of what happened when he went to go talk with them. He kind of just chalks it up to, it was just one of those things. It just didn't work out. But he started to post lettered pencil pages of the comic on like one or two fanfic forums, and then eventually on his own website. To date, because he started posting them like late 2019, but to date there is 10 or 11 full issues available online. You can easily get them if you just type in X-Men Elsewhen. You'll get a bunch of hits. But originally he wasn't posting the pages in order at all. It wasn't until it really started to get picked up by like news outlets and other fans, and they were like, "Yo, we want the full, this to drop in actual order." They started releasing them like page by page, fully lettered and things like that. I think if you're an X-Men, hardcore fan, like all of us are in this room, or even just like an artist, like an artist that enjoys seeing the process and seeing the work of like a legend, this is something I highly recommend, because like I said, it's not colored in, it's not, I don't even think inked, it's just straight pencils and lettering. That's it. He's giving you the story and the art, very bare bone basics. There's no covers. He did design like a masthead for the book, but it is so raw, and I can't recommend it enough. To know that someone of his caliber is putting in this much work for a fucking free fanfic, like it's impressive, man. Like,
it'd be cool if they did like an artist edition of that. I don't know.
You know what? It technically kind of is.
IDW's going to be like,
so that'll be
like doesn't give a fuck. He just prints it on his own.
Yeah, right.
I'm halfway through issue 1. Like I said, there's about like 10 or 11 full issues you can find online very easily. So get to Googling.
I didn't know Boom Studios put out an X-Men book.
And then the last thing I'll go ahead and champion is another X-Men related thing, and it's the the latest crossover, X-Men X of Swords. It's the follow-up event after House of X and Power of X, so it kind of picks up right from there. The story at a very high level is, the X-Men after establishing their sovereignty with, in the House of X, Power of X series, they must now defend their new home of Krakoa from invaders from a foreign dimension who happen to have ties to Apocalypse. The X-Men must choose their champions to raise their swords and battle for the fate of the world. I'll go ahead and say it is a 22-part event, which I don't think any event ever needs to be this long. That is the one thing I'll say. It doesn't need to be 22 fucking parts. But it's got an array of talented writers and artists who have been working on X-Men lately, such as Jonathan Hickman. Gary Duggan is doing some writing in this. Tini Howard. Pepe Larraz is back. Mahmoud Asrar, Victor Bogdanovic, and a whole lot more. So, I mean, it touches every single X title currently out. So, Marauders, Hellions, New Mutants, X-Men, X-Force, so blah, blah, blah. So you get a bunch of different artists and writers and creative talent doing their pieces of the puzzle. The crossover has ended, so the last 3 parts came out in late November, so you can easily find all the issues at your favorite comic shop Or if you're, a trade waiter or something like that, you can wait for the collected hardcover to come out in February 2021. I will say all of these Dawn of X
You can get
trades,
that in the comic book shop too.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. All of the single issues are readily available. I went to got them last week. He had a stack of them. But the hardcover comes out in February. I will recommend this if you're a fan of the new X-Men relaunch and what Jonathan Hickman and his team have been doing. I'd also recommend this if you're in the mood for a story centered on Apocalypse, if he's one of your favorite X-Men villains.
Talk dirty to me.
And if you're a fan of stories centered around like tournaments, it's a lot of fun to see the X-Men put into like this situation.
That Egyptian motherfucker gets me so hard.
Dude, I'm telling you now, like...
So it's better than A versus X?
What now?
The Avengers versus X-Men.
I don't know. I didn't read it.
A versus X was a lot of fun. It's fun. I thought all the side stories were probably a lot more fun than the main one, especially like the actual versus issues, like Gambit versus whatever, Captain America.
Thing versus Juggernaut.
Yeah. I always like to see like when they do stuff like that to kind of flex like their creative pool. Like, yo, we're going to throw so-and-so on this title. And you're like, what? Okay. So I'll recommend X of Swords in that same vein. It's a very long fucking event, but it's a lot of fun, man. It's X-Men. I've just been in an X-Men mood lately. So those are my two things I will champion. And that brings us to the end of our show, Shortbox Nation. Before I get into my my long goodbye, Ed, C, you guys have any closing comments or shameless plugs you want to share? Ed, I'll go to you.
Just Edbot 5000, taking commissions as always. So just look me up.
Yeah, I just also wanted to say that the holidays are coming up. Everybody be safe. Everybody be responsible. And I'm fucking better than you! I'm better than you! For the holidays, better than you.
Oh, man.
Fucking better than you.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, Shortbox Nation, that is the end of our show. How was it? Did we miss anything? Do you want to chime in with a thought or share something with us to read next episode? Let us know by sending us a short email at theshortboxjacks@gmail.com. Again, I personally want to recognize and thank the people who made this episode possible, our sponsor, Gotham City Limit, and our Patreon subscribers. If you enjoyed the podcast and you're in a position to contribute or donate to support the show and help us keep it going, consider becoming a Shortbox patron. We'll reward you with bonus episodes and other perks. Just visit patreon.com/theshortbox to find out more. Thanks again for hanging out and sharing your time with us. You could be listening to any other podcast, but you're here with us, and that means a lot. We'll be back next week with the last installment of our Artist Spotlight series for this year. And this next one is going to be on Canadian comic book artist known for her work on books such as Thunder Agents, Archie, and Saga. I'm talking about Fiona Staples. She was voted on by our Patreon subscribers. Fiona Staples, Artist Spotlight episode next week. And then we're going to close out 2020 with a review/recap of the new Wonder Woman movie that happens to be coming out on Christmas Day on HBO Max. And then we'll also probably tie in our best of 2020 category, so best new comic book series, best creative team, etc. in that same episode. So that's what you can look forward to us here at the Shortbox. In the meantime, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast, stay tuned, and continue to make mine and yours Shortbox. Have a great week and keep it geeky.
I'm better than you.